Hi guys, Trevor here from Double Bill Movies. So as I decided to start doing collection videos, this is going to be episode number 2 of that series. So the next studio on my list is To Entertain. Now, I only have a small amount of titles from that kind of a BBC subsidiary label. So yeah. Let's start with those, shall we? And then what I'm going to do is start with the next label, or studio, which will be 20th Century Fox. So let's get through the To Entertain ones. So, like I said, they're kind of a BBC connection, and so One Life is the first title I've got here. Haven't actually seen this yet. But I tend to like most of the other titles that I have, so I'm sure this one will be good. Then we have Trials of Life. I'm sure if you've seen any of these BBC documentaries, you'll agree with me how just so well put together they are. So well filmed, and the picture quality is usually outstanding. So that's that one. I haven't seen this one either. Now, for us Brits at least, this is a very important one, because as you all know, in 2012 we hosted it, and that was the 2012 Olympics. Obviously just got this as a bit of a memento to what was an outstanding Olympic Games. And, you know, obviously all the opening ceremonies and seeing everything in our past and our present and the future. So, obviously the very, very cool bit where Daniel Craig got to put on his James Bond guise and escort the Queen and do that little sort of sketch where he parachuted into the stadium and all that kind of stuff. So that's a very, very cool thing, I think. Good connection with movie history there. That's the 2012 box set. Right, now, these next 3 titles I worked on in a quality assurance capacity in my job at Testronic Labs. And so basically I got paid to sit and watch these. It's not that I wouldn't have been interested on the telly, but you know, if someone says here, you know, you need to watch this and check this out and do some work on it, then yeah, I'm going to do that. I remember this one being particularly interesting, and it is Yellowstone, basically about the Yellowstone National Park in the United States. And if you don't know, it is one giant massive volcano. And if that goes off, then there's going to be a bit of trouble in the world. Anyway, so that's Yellowstone. Now, another one fairly dear to my heart, because as I'm sure most of us do, I love this planet, and it is Planet Earth. This is the Steelbook edition of the first series, obviously David Attenborough. And when we got this at work, it's not a true 1080 resolution. It is actually upscaled. The BBC had been filming in 720 resolution for many years before the HD that we know today had come out. So this is 1080i, 1080 interlaced. Now the Americans did a progressive version. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing is, because it's upscaled from 720 and the maximum you can really upscale to is 1080i, that there may be a few, not issues, but progressive picture, that's what the P stands for. Progressive picture is always best. Because it basically shows you every single frame all in one go, rather than interlaced where you have the pictures divided up into lines and you get, say, all the odd lines first, and then you get all the even lines afterwards. But they happen so fast you can't tell that you're seeing a composite picture, let's put it that way. So that is Planet Earth, series 1 on a steelbook. Now, I don't have Planet Earth 2 yet, and I've only seen bits and bobs of it. But one title I was really proud, well, pleased to have worked on also at Testronic Labs, because it's what, 5 episodes, and this was when HD was really starting to not take off, but it was the beginnings of HD, and when we were first starting to really go wow at what we were seeing. Like I said, Planet Earth looked great, but not absolutely stunning. But this Earth, the Power of Our Planet, this to me just looked absolutely stunning. It helped that obviously one of the episodes is about ice, so there's lots of snow around, and that's obviously going to reflect a lot of light, and that's what helps the picture to look absolutely stunning. And I remember sitting there watching this and just being totally in awe. Very good episodes. It is, yeah, Dr. Ian Scott, he's very good at presenting these kind of programs. Very lovely Scottish voice to listen to, and but he's very clear in what he talks about, and he presents it very, very well. Okay, so that's all of my to entertain. So let's start with the 20th Century Fox, and I will start with the 4K that I have. And I've put them in alphabetical order, just to make it easier. Sorry if I keep disappearing off screen, but it's just the easiest way to do this. Actually, let me bring up a pile. Let's do some at a time, shall we? Okay, so first in my 4K collection, again, I don't have 4K yet, but I have seen most of these films because obviously they have the Blu-ray with them. So the first one is the steelbook of Alien Covenant. Now, did I see this in the cinema? I definitely saw Prometheus in the cinema, but I'm pretty sure I saw this as well. Yeah, I saw this as well. Now also, as you may have picked up on a couple of other of my videos, that I like soundtracks as well to the films. So, what have I done with it? From here, I also have the CD soundtrack to Alien Covenant. Now, it's not as good as the original Jerry Goldsmith one for Alien, but it's still a very good soundtrack. And yeah, still a pretty good film too. So, you know, come on, Mr. Ridley Scott, let's get this third one done, and let's see if we can get a connection to Alien, you know, because I'm pretty sure that's what you're trying to do with it. Now, the next one I've got, I'm going to try and do this as quick as I can, but the next one I've got, which I definitely saw in the cinema, is Bohemian Rhapsody. One of my favourite bands, and obviously the music is just amazing. If you don't like Queen, then that's fair enough, but if you haven't heard of Queen, then yeah, where have you been living? Or I'm sure you're young and get onto it. You need to listen to this band. Obviously there were some liberties taken with the story, just to sort of because it's a movie, but most of what's in there is based on reality. And Rami Malek just did an absolutely stunning job, and so did the other three guys who played, Roger Taylor, Brian May and John Deacon. They did brilliant jobs at portraying Queen. And yeah, that's Bohemian Rhapsody. Another one that I also have the soundtrack for, basically it's just Queen songs, because that's the same audio they used They didn't re-record anything. It was just the Queen songs from the original album. So that's a great compilation. Right, so now we get into the superhero realm. And the first one I have this on Blu-ray Steelbook, but I wanted it on 4K, so I have Deadpool. And again, I have the soundtrack. So that's the score, because a lot of these films nowadays have two soundtracks. You have the score and you have the songs. I only appear to have the one for Deadpool. Put that over there. So 4K Steelbook, Deadpool 2. And I definitely do have both soundtracks for that film. So, what's next? Something I watched at Christmas and I hadn't seen for a long time. I used to have the Blu-ray box set. The one, I think, I'm not sure if it was HMV exclusive, but it only had the 3 films in, because I think it came out before the 4th film. And it had a film cell with it, but I got rid of it in anticipation of, I don't know, a Blu-ray release, a box set Blu-ray release. So yeah, it was a DVD box set. But because they keep releasing new films, there hasn't really been a box set I wanted. But as this is a 20th Century Fox title, and as we know, it's going to be almost impossible now, unless Disney do sort of get on with doing 4Ks of 20th Century titles. So anyway, I thought I'd pick this up, and I got the special edition with the sleeve, and it is Die Hard. And yes, it's a Christmas movie, so don't argue. But it was a great movie. I really enjoyed watching it last year. Okay, so another film. This one I haven't seen, but as it was the 20th Century Fox title, I thought, well, I'm going to snap it up while I can. And that is Exodus. I know this is a very heavy special effects type of film. So I thought, well, why not get it on 4K? And when I get around to getting a 4K setup or a projector or something, and I can hopefully enjoy it on a big screen. Right, so, oops. Not the best presentation, I'm sorry, but hey. I didn't want to sit on the floor like I normally do. But anyway. Now, this was released by Disney recently, but it's still a 20th Century Fox title. So, in that regards, I've put it under my 20th Century Fox. And I also watched this at Christmas, but I had to watch it on, I think it was Prime. Oh, excuse me. Because I ordered this, but it didn't turn up in time. And anyway, finally got it, and it came with a sleeve, so I was happy with that. And it's Home Alone. Just a great little film, pretty much something to watch every Christmas, as I'm sure a lot of you do. Just some great fun. Now, something I definitely remember seeing in the cinema and being totally wowed by back in 1994, and that was Independence Day. So this is just a standalone 4K version. Yes, I know there's the other one, and I will get that on 4K at some point. I have them both on Blu-ray. Now, I actually got this brand new and sealed, but I got it from a charity shop because it came free with a 4K player or something. So there's no Blu-ray in here, it's just a 4K. But like I said, I have them on Blu-ray, so I don't need it yet. That's Independence Day. And guess what? I also have the soundtrack. Brilliant soundtrack. Now, I remember back in the day when video shops still existed and DVD wasn't even a thing at the time. Or it wasn't quite, it may have just been starting up. But I brought a VHS version, and I'm sure it was not a widescreen version, but my local video shop had this lovely, and it was one of the slightly bigger VHS boxes, so it wouldn't fit in a normal VHS rack system or whatever you had, shelving. But yeah, I may still have it somewhere, probably up in the loft. But yeah, so obviously I have always enjoyed Independence Day. So that's the 4K and the soundtrack. Next up is a film that we thoroughly enjoyed when we sat and watched it, my wife and I. We haven't got around to watching the second one yet, and it is The Kingsman 4K. Now actually, that's the second one, isn't it? Silly me. So, The Kingsman 4K, there we go. Now I have this, or I did have this on regular Blu-ray with a slipcover, but I'm going to get rid of that because I've got this version now. And as this has a Blu-ray in it, I can still watch it if I want to. So that's Kingsman. Then we go to the lovely Steelbook. There we go, the second film, which we haven't seen yet. Then in America, this is called Fords v Ferrari, but I got it as Le Mans 66, and this is the 4K Steelbook. Brilliant film. It was so well made. Christian Bale did an absolutely fantastic job. Matt Damon was brilliant as well. And just the story, it was so sort of, you know, heart-wrenching in a way what happened, but still a brilliant story and a great film. Now, this one I got on Blu-ray Steelbook 3D version, only for a few months later for an extended version to be released. So I was a little bit miffed by that, because I like to have the longest version of a film possible, as long as I've got the shorter version. So if the long version is too boring, I can just watch the shorter version. But then when this came out on 4K, I thought, well, I'll just get the standard 4K. That way I've got the extended version, but I also got the Blu-ray that I can watch, and a 3D version too, and it is The Martian, starring Matt Damon. Really cool film. Really enjoyed it. Some great visual effects, and just a pretty cool story, to be honest. Now, another film which at some point will be featured as one of my double bill movies, because I have the original, but I also bought this version, and I haven't seen this version yet, but it is Murder on the Orient Express. You know, I keep hearing good things about this, picture-wise and story-wise, so I shall get around to watching it at some point. Now let's get a few more videos. Videos? We're talking about videos for. Ugh. Right. Okay, so another kind of it's not a strange franchise, but what's going on with the franchise is a little bit odd, because you've got the older films, and then you've got these films, but they're not remakes, they're kind of prequels. So the only one that gets ignored, I guess, is the remake that has, is it Mark Wahlberg in it? But these Planet of the Apes movies, so yes, these are basically prequels to the Charlton Heston one. So yeah, not remakes, but I've only seen the first one so far. I have it on Blu-ray Steelbook, and so you'll probably see later on in the 20th Century Fox titles, once I get to the Blu-rays. But yeah, that's Planet of the Apes box set. Now this I snapped up again because it was a 20th Century Fox title. When I realised that obviously Disney had acquired 20th Century Fox, and you know, that we practically weren't going to get any more titles on 4K, I tried to track down as many as I could. And what I got was this Predator box set. So apparently this has the best transfer of Predator out there. Now, I've got the original Blu-ray that was released, and as you may have heard me mention before, it's an MPEG-2. Now, I've subsequently learnt from John, the movie collector, that it's possible that MPEG-2 was Sony's kind of bespoke HD codec, video codec. So it doesn't mean to say it's a DVD MPEG-2 like I think it is. I think it could just be an uncompressed DVD, basically, because obviously the bitrate is much higher on Blu-ray, and obviously even more so on 4K. But yeah, without getting too complicated, you know, everyone knows about the infamous heavily DNR'd digital noise reduction version of Predator, where everything looks waxy, where it just looks like a VHS, basically, a very clean VHS. But apparently the restoration and everything done on this and these films are the best you can get, so that's why I picked up this one. Now, another film in that franchise that I actually really liked was The Predator, or is it? Yes, The Predator. Now, the ending was a little bit cheesy, but you know, there is cheesy elements to these movies, and I could sort of see where they were going with it. But it looks like the new film called Prey, which should be out, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's later this year or whatever, but kind of ignores this. So, you know, fair enough. If this didn't do as well as they hoped, then why do a sequel to it? So that's The Predator. And as I started with the Ridley Scott Alien film, then let's end, well, not end, because I've got something else as well, but there's Prometheus, which I definitely saw at the cinema and really enjoyed. So yeah, it'd be nice to see it on 4K, but I've got it on Blu-ray as well, so that's Prometheus. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos where I sort of try and decorate around me a little bit and put different box sets up, then you've probably seen this one. And although they're not all 20th Century Fox, the first 6 are, definitely, but obviously the last 3 aren't, and that is this lovely, awesome 4K box set of Star Wars, my favourite franchise, I think you'll find. And yeah, so this is the only way I have episodes 7, 8 and 9 on Blu-ray, so it's the only way I can watch them. And obviously the original trilogy, yeah, I think that's the best. I liked the prequel trilogy. I thought episode 3 got really quite dark, and when I was in the cinema watching it, I was like, wow, this is yes, this is definitely much darker than the others. And there's a few things in the sequels that I don't necessarily agree with, and yeah, episode 8 just kind of lost its way a little bit. But the way they ended the saga, I was really impressed. I was like, okay, that's how you do that. Well done, because it came out at the time when Marvel were essentially finishing off their series with was it Endgame, which I still haven't seen yet. I've got a lot of Marvel catching up to do, and that got, you know, rave reviews and the brilliant film and everything and all this, that and the other. And then I think Game of Thrones, which I haven't watched, I've seen like episode 1 and that's it. But the end of that was coming, and apparently that did quite well. It was kind of split, I think. Some people were like, oh, well, that was a bit naff, but others were like, yeah, that's amazing. And so the anticipation of this coming out, episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, was like, okay, I really hope they don't flop. But no, I was really impressed. I really liked it. And what a way to end you know, a 40-odd year saga. You know, it's a shame George Lucas sold all the rights and everything. But having read up on him in my Howard the Duck 101 box set, actually, I can kind of see why he just got fed up and was like, yeah, I'm done with this. But as with some of the other films earlier on, I had the soundtracks. Well, of course, I'm going to have all of these, aren't I? So this amazing digipack of the Phantom Menace, I obviously have. And I was, you know, thinking, okay, so there's going to be another digipack for what we got. Forgot my films now. Attack of the Clones and, excuse me, Revenge of the Sith. But no, that wasn't the case, and I don't know why. But anyway, so I also have the regular version of the Phantom Menace, and then I have Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and they all kind of go together in their style of presentation, and then these ones go together in their style of presentation. So that is A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and probably my favourite Star Wars film, Return of the Jedi. Actually, it kind of goes between A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, and Rogue One. But then, as I like digipacks, I had to get Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and then initially I couldn't get this on digipack, so I had to get a standalone jewel case version, but I kept it sealed in cellophane. I think I've still got it somewhere, unless I got rid of it in a charity shop, or CEX or something like that. But then suddenly I was looking somewhere, probably on Discogs, which is a great site for cataloguing your music collection, and I did finally come across the digipack for The Rise of Skywalker as well. So that's the 3 trilogies in 3 matching formats, apart from obviously the extra Phantom Menace one. Anyway, wow, this is going to be a long video, so I'll try and keep the next one shorter. Once I get into the 20th Century Fox Blu-rays, I shall count how many I've got here and reduce that amount so I don't go on for so long. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to check out my How Physical Media is Made series. So I put up episode 2 the other day. But obviously go and check episode 1 first if you haven't seen either of them. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I shall see you again soon. Oh, by the way, I keep forgetting to do this. My series, what I've just said, Mind's Gone Blank, Come On Trevor, Wake Up, How Physical Media is Made, that series was inspired by Bumper. Hey Bumper, thanks for the inspiration on that one, mate. This one goes out to you, and yeah, I shall leave a link to his channel, because he's got a pretty good channel going, in the description below, and go and check out Bumper and Bumper's movies. So yeah, well done. Finally remembered to give you a good proper mention, and thank you for the inspiration. Anyway, so yeah, take it easy.